we're a family. I want to recognize that. I want to be good with that. I want to be okay with that. So I'm like, yes, he can come. And we'll all do it together. You know, we'll just all celebrate the girls' birthdays together. And I'm okay with that.
This wasn't easy for you to get here.
No, it wasn't at all. There was a...
Because I think that's why... Because you mentioned the term all or nothing before.
Yes, yeah.
I think there's a lot of tension with that because a guy does have that burning pain and they're like, wait, well, if he's there, then I don't need to be here. Like, the biological father is stepping back because there's a step-parent in the way.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's great. So you had to struggle to get to this place where you could start saying, yes, Jason can come.
Yeah. None of this came easy.
Yeah.
It's been times where I haven't handled it so well, and me and Anna have had arguments. Even me feeling like she's putting his family before me because they're my girls, you know? And there's been times where, like I said, I felt good that my daughter was resisting him.
Yeah.
To where I'm at now, like I'm recognizing the role that we all play, you know, and I'm lucky. I mean, he's a good guy.
Yeah, very lucky.
I mean, she could have chose someone that,
yeah.
you know, wasn't so great or that was just interested in her and wasn't interested in the kids. Maybe in the beginning I would have felt good about that. Mm-hmm. Now where I'm at several years later, maybe I wouldn't feel so good about that. I'm glad they got a positive man in their lives.
When it's working the way that you have it working now in the direction you're heading, it's almost like your kids have an unfair advantage if it's done right. If everybody's playing their role and everybody knows what their role is, they have extra people who are pouring in, loving, and working to make sure that everything runs smooth.
And you know what? And it's good that you say that because more than once have I told myself that I have to allow other people to love my children. Yeah. Because I had that all or nothing mentality. Like either it's all from me or nothing. You know? And I would have to tell you, you got two great girls. You have to allow other people to love your children because they're lovable.
Yeah.
And you can't give it all to them. You can give them what you have. But you have to allow the other people to give them what they have as well.
Okay, so as we're winding down, I want to ask you one more question,
yes.
And then I want to also see if you have any words about I said if we have new information. So maybe you can give us an idea of what's going to be heading in your podcast. Just throw us an idea of what we may get.
Yeah.
So my question is competition with your house and that house when it comes to your children. Is there any competition?
As far as like trying to outdo one another?
Yeah, outdo one another, outcook one another, outlove one another.
Well,
go to bed later than the other.
Anna definitely outcooks me.
Okay.
And that'll always be the case. No, we pretty much reinforce the rules back and forth.
Okay.
You know,
no competition.
There's no outward competition of trying to outdo one another.
I don't know why you're doing it over there. You do that over there?
You know,
you're not doing that over here.
Anna is definitely more of a disciplinary than I am.
Okay.
But that's probably the biggest difference.
Okay.
She's a little more strict and a little more, you know. They still don't go to bed late. They don't get away with doing different things. I'm still like, you know, time to go to bed, school tomorrow, you got your homework and all that. She's just a little more, you know, a little more strict. But there's really no competition, and we split things up well, you know. Thanksgiving, actually, every Thanksgiving they're usually with me. This Thanksgiving they were with her because we went to North Carolina for Christmas. It just kind of switched up. Christmas, they always wake up with me, and then they go with her in the afternoon, and then they go to Vermont. It just, we've really kind of got a nice thing going, and it works out really well. And we still lean on each other when something's going on with the kids. Like, I call her and I'm like, well, this is going on. Or she calls me and like, this is going on. Talk to her about this. She's not talking to me. And, especially with my older one, I got a teenager that doesn't always want to be talkative.
Of course.
She just wants to be
Do you talk
silent.
negative about Anna or Jason in your children's presence? And do you believe that Anna and Jason speak negatively about you in your children's presence?
We take little pot shots at one another in a fun way, but like they do hold truths, they don't not hold truth, but not outright. No, we don't bash one another. I don't believe she bashes me. I think maybe in the beginning it went on a little bit on her end. I always knew I was at fault for what has happened, so I never really bashed her or anything like that because I knew. It was me that caused the breakup of everything. Okay. And she was hurt. So whatever she had to say, rightfully so. She was hurt. But we're at a place now where our relationship is good. I like where our relationship is at. We're more friends, and we just kind of raise our kids together. From separate places.
I call that the unfair. Well, I call it the unfair advantage that what you guys are creating, and I think it's very inspiring because co-parenting is something that we often think is just, that's just them. They're good at that co-parent. They're just different types of people. But when people hear your story and you're being honest, talking about, it was very rough in the beginning. This didn't just happen because you and Anna are just great people and great relationship
Not at all.
people. You guys struggled at it. You argued, you debated, you got a few things wrong, and now you guys are here, and you're only going to keep getting better and stronger for the sake of the kids.
Yeah.
That's the message that I think is powerful.
Like I said, there was that. It got to the point that one time, and I mentioned this in the last one, where she showed up with the police to take the kids out of bed. And they drove away, and I stood out there with the officer, and there was nothing I could do. So yes, it has. We didn't just end up there because we're great people. She's a much better person than I am.
Yeah.
It took some work getting there, and we still got a long way to go. Just last year I started saying yes, Jason can come. So so I mean. So we're getting there, we're getting there.
Yes, Jason can come.
Jason can come. Just get shirts made up. Jason can come. Yeah.
That would be a good movement for a lot of dads out there.
Yeah.
That mentality, that's really cool. All right, so let's get into this podcast. We're leading people up to the big podcast. All right, we know we're going to have some guests on there. I know you mentioned that previously.
Yeah.
You want to have guests on your podcast. You want to have dads on your podcast, whether they have reached the mountaintop or they're going through the valley right now.
Yeah.
So you already told us that. Give us something else that we could be anticipating in regards to the podcast. It could be something little. It could be something big. Drop us something, John.
Well, I'd mentioned last time... that as long as you're living, as long as you're in it, there's always room for improvement. I have blown up at my kids. Ridiculously have blown up at them. And I felt horrible afterwards. And I say that to say that no matter what's going on, no matter what you're going through, whether it's with your ex or your children, there's always room for improvement. Because everyone is still there. It's never over until it's over. And I haven't always thought like this. Actually, this situation in my life has put a lot of my life in perspective. Because there's no running away from it. I mean, you can, but really there's no running away from it. And you can, no matter how you feel, because in the beginning, I was very dead set on Jason. He has no role whatsoever. And I was adamant about it. To Jason can come. So, it's just a process of working through it, being honest with yourself. If you blow up, try not to blow up next time. If you're feeling a certain way, recognize that it's only a feeling, doesn't make it right, doesn't make it true, even if it is, it's something that can be worked through. You know, so that fear that I felt of losing my place as a father, I'm not saying it's completely gone. It's subsided substantially. You know, it's very minimal now because I honestly took a look at it. First of all, I recognized that it was just a fear. It wasn't the reality. Nobody was trying to take my kids from me. It was a fear I had because of something I felt about myself. You know, but that's really it. That there's room for, if you're there, there's room for improvement. If you haven't been a great father, there's room for improvement. You can get better. Definitely. As long as you're in it, you can get better. You know, so that's really it. I'm still getting better. I still have to apologize to my kids sometimes because I make the wrong move. I say the wrong thing. You know, I blow up.
Man, the thing that I'm most excited about from the first time that I heard your story all the way till right now is I could just imagine, you know, I believe Martin Luther King's dream didn't come true, right? But just the way that you speak, I don't know if you can see it or hear it because you're saying it and you're living it, but your fight to do good for your children and your fight all the way to getting custody for your children or joint custody, your fight to work with your wife your ex-wife that was difficult in the beginning, your fight to fight through all of that. What if every father just had to fight? Like just had they got the crazy baby mom. Like what if we stop calling the woman's baby moms?
Yeah, exactly.
What if they just had to fight? Just to fight, like every morning, just to fight to do what's right for their children. The fight. Do you know how better the world would be?
Definitely.
Just to fight. You didn't need results. They don't need results. They don't even need progress. Because there was times in your beginning where you didn't have progress. There was times where you was just fighting and standing still.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But just to fight. I think a lot of too many fathers specifically have lost the fight. And the reason why I love this story that you're living is because you have the fight. You keep getting punched in the face. Like, I'm not saying it because I can't, because I want them to be able to do it, take it from themselves. But if you listen to your story, and we got a whole bunch more to get into, but you keep getting punched in the face. Your dad, you know, your dad, what was that? Your dad, you thought your dad was coming from Arizona to here because it was you, the long lost son.
Yeah.
But no, it's this person, it's this person, it's this person, it's everybody but you, as you said, right?
Yeah.
That's a punch in the face. But you keep going back. You keep going back. And that's what the world needs. So, if you don't have any final words, lady, do you have any final words?
Just that, and this we don't get a second chance at this.
No, not at all.
You get second chances in life, but overall you don't get a second chance. So you need to make this chance count. And if that's seeking out your father and meeting your father, or going after your kids in a very vigorous way, then it needs to be now, not later, because you might miss out. You might miss the chance.
There might not be no later.
There might not be no later. You know, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is John Fontanez, and I'm Billionaire Brown. This has been another Billionaire Brown experience. Stay tuned. Again, you're on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, they can connect with you. What's your name on Facebook?
John J. Fontanez.
John J. Fontanez. So connect with John J. Fontanez on Facebook. And until next time, guys, continue to be.
motivating you to firm, fit, and fabulous. Here is our company website, www.femmefatalefitclub.bigcartel.com. We are a no judgment zone, here to help any woman ready to take control of her health and well-being. Here's our blog, www.femmefatalefitclub.com.